Breaking news, we got some more Bravo news. It's not incarceration news this time. They threw us a curveball. We started noticing the patterns. It looks like the Burris household got a visit from the divorce fairy. Kandi and Todd are splitting up. ROA alum Kandi Burris and Todd Tucker split after 11 years of marriage. A difficult and emotional time. I think Kandi took a break from filming, but y'all need to pay that lady. Bring her back out of retirement. Get those cameras rolling. Somebody find Momma Joyce. The Real Housewives of Atlanta star announced she was splitting from husband Todd Tucker on November 21st. I asked for privacy, grace, and understanding as we navigate this transition with our family, she says in a statement. The couple wed in April 2014 and welcomed 2 children together. After deep thought and a lot of prayer, I've made the decision to move forward with the divorce. This is a difficult and emotional time, but my focus remains on protecting my peace, being the best mother I can be, and co-parenting with love and respect. I'm stepping into a new chapter, pouring into my work, my family, and my own growth. I'm grateful to everyone who supported us throughout the years, and I ask for privacy, grace, and understanding as we navigate this transition with our family. This is crazy. I remember when Kandi first met Todd. I watched all of those seasons back to back to back. I saw this start. I saw y'all get married. I saw y'all have y'all kids. I saw all the problems with Joyce and Todd. I just saw it all. And now I have to watch it end. Well wishes to everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to our Orange Life. Thanks for tuning in. This is Deanna. Thank you to new subscribers. Thank you to current subscribers. Okay, guys, I'm back. I finally finished up at work. I'm now part time. Not because I can afford to, but because just trying to take care of my mental health. Enough is enough now. Also, my little Mavi Pop, he's gone, guys. He had to go to a medical foster. He was too sick for me to keep him. I was back and forth to the vets, and he was just too sick, guys. I couldn't keep him any longer. So my little Mavy Pop is gone. So I'm a little, sad about it. But life has to move on. All right. You saw the video. Let's talk about it, Todd and Kandi. Now I can't remember if it's this channel or my other channel that I talked about Todd and Kandi before. I saw this coming. I saw it coming a while years ago. This is not nothing that's new to me. As long as I've been a psych nurse, I've been doing this for so long. I just see the signs all over the place. Excuse the noise in the background if you heard it. It's just getting to the point now. It don't matter where you live at. It's no longer quiet. So I'm gonna put a link below of my other channel, A Mental Break. That channel is lighter than this one. I'm more comedic over there. It's lighter. If you want to listen to like celebrity gossip, I still look at it from a psych point of view, but just not so deeply. So sometimes if you don't want to look so much at yourself, when you be listening to some of my videos and you just want something light and funny, that's where I do the light side of of this commentary. So that's I might have did it over there because I didn't go too deep on Kandi and Todd before. I did it more comedic, I think. So it's over there on a mental break. Well, anyway, let's talk about it. Well, Kandi has filed for divorce. Now, let me just say this because I saw this coming years ago, and I'm gonna tell you when I saw it for the first time. The first time I knew that there was a problem in this relationship, if y'all can remember back on the Housewives of Atlanta, when all the women went to Nene and Phaedra's hometown and they went to go have dinner. And it was a woman at the table that said that, Kandi mentioned Todd, and it was a woman there that said, yeah, Todd used to date a friend of mine, and he likes to date, women with money, women that do well. He's an opportunist. So, Kandi got mad, and that's when, she started talking, Kandi got mad. You can't talk about her man, honey. So, Kandi got mad, but that was the first red flag for me. And the reason why I say it's a red flag, because when you hear a rumor about somebody, sometimes it's true and sometimes it's not. But what I will say, that wherever there's smoke, there's fire. That's always the case. So that was like a little moment for me. But I put it on the back burner because that's what we do sometimes. We hear things and we say and maybe or may not be true. But I also knew it was going to be problems because Kandi has significantly more money than Todd. And one thing I know is that there are very few men that can deal with women that have money and that are more masculine. And when I say masculine, Kandi is very masculine as far as work is concerned. You know, Kandi has masculine traits. I'll say that, not masculine, but just masculine traits on the way Kandi likes to go after business. She's not much of a homemaker type of woman. She's not high on the femininity scale. And I'm not saying she's not feminine. That's not what I mean. I mean, Kandi is not really like dainty. She's not Portia. Because if you put Kandi against Portia, Portia is more, wants more of a man to take charge, wants the man to be the breadwinner, and Portia wants to fall back in her femininity and just get her nails done and go to the spa and be on private jets and beaches and bikinis and things like that. That's what Portia likes. Where Kandi wants to be out there. Portia don't mind making a coin, but Portia don't want to work hard for no coin because she don't want to mess up her nails. Where Kandi don't care about that. Kandi gonna do whatever she got to do and go to the ends of the earth for her coins. So I knew that the relationship was going to last because men have difficulty with that, especially black men. Black men have fragile masculinity. They do. And it has a lot to do with society. I'm not, it has a lot to do with society. And so I knew that it was going to be a problem. I just didn't know how long it was going to take. But now we see we're here now. Now, according to Tasha K, because I did listen to Tasha K early this morning, she said that one of the reasons that she found out about was finances because the two businesses that Kandi and Todd had, Old Lady Gang and Blaze, they've lost a lot of money. There's a lot of fines. There's a lot of money owed for a lot of different things. And even though Kandi has this gig she's doing on Broadway and she's making money, I think that what it is that Candy's making money. But if you got all this money that got to be paid over here and you're making money over here, it's kind of defeating the purpose because you're not getting a return. See, the thing about money has to always move in a circle, and a lot of people don't realize that. And if Candy's bringing all this money in from Broadway, but yet it's going out over here to Old Lady Gang and Blaze, there's no return on Old Lady Gang and Blaze. It's just dead over there. That's it. The money went over there to die. So that's it. So Kandi don't like to lose a coin, honey, because we see that Kandi put business above everything. Kandi puts business above her children, and I'm not saying Kandi don't love her children. Please don't misunderstand. What I'm saying is that if y'all recall, there was a scene when what's the baby's name? Ace. Ace was on with Todd at home, and Kandi called, and I think Kandi was on tour. I think she was on tour. Either she was doing the Shy. I can't remember what she was doing, and Ace was like, "Mommy, I want you to help me with my homework." And she was like, "Well, I can't." She said, "Well, Daddy will help you." And he said, "No, I want you." And when kids do that, it's because they don't see their parent enough. And Riley has even mentioned that she's not home enough. Riley even mentioned, "I don't know why you having more kids when you wasn't around for me that much," in so many words. So Kandi is about her coins. And let me explain something. There's nothing wrong with a woman that's about her money and she wants to be out there hustling, doing her. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But I think where the problem lies at is that when you're that type of woman, then Kandi shouldn't have had children. And she had Riley, and it should have stopped there. It really should have stopped there because Candy's not that type of woman. Kandi is that go-getter woman that's going to be out there getting that bag and getting that coin, and that's what Kandi enjoys. That's who she is. So sometimes, if that's the person that you are, then you need to be the person that you are. And a lot of women have conflict with that because society likes to make women feel guilty for not being a wife and a mother. And we're at the point now where you have to be who you are, and that's why so many children suffering because women are not being who they really ought to be. Some women are not cut out to be mothers, and that's just it. That's just the end of it. But anyway, let me move on to the main point of this. So, uh, and also Tasha K brought up that uh Kandi allegedly is a lesbian. Now I don't know if the woman's a lesbian. Kandi has admitted to threesomes. There have been many pictures of Kandi and Todd traveling with this woman that's been on various trips with them. So I don't know who this woman is. She could have been the babysitter, the nanny. I listen. I don't know. Okay, so since I don't know, I can't sit here and say that this is their third party in the bed because I don't know. So again, Tasha K was saying that Kandi is, in the LGBTQ community. And the reason why she married Todd and had this family is because it looks better for television, which is true, especially if you're on a franchise called The Housewives. It is true. If you're going to be on a show called The Housewives of whatever city, I don't care if it's The Housewives of Timbuktu, the when you say the word housewives, that means you're a wife and usually a family comes with it. Most of the women that participate on these shows are wives and mothers or girlfriends and mothers or something to that effect. Now you had a few that weren't, like when Kenya first came into the franchise, she didn't have a man, but eventually Kenya got married. Kenya had men on the show, and then eventually Kenya had her cute little girl there. And but Tasha K was right on that. When you're in the entertainment world, it always looks better to present yourself as family oriented than being, single all the time, a party person all the time. That tarnishes the image. And a lot of times, managers, companies, organizations you're tied to, they'll tell you, listen, if you want to go further in your brand, you need to have a family. And these are the things that they do. Now, let me just say this. Todd knew what he was getting into. I believe that Todd got with Kandi for various reasons, not just one. I think it's various reasons. I think one of the reasons where he knew what Kandi was about, he knew that Kandi liked women. I'm sure they talked about it because, again, there's threesomes. So Todd probably said, hey, I'm getting money and extra, cooch, So Todd probably said, hey, this is my kind of relationship. And Todd knew that Kandi was, had these masculine features and she was the dominant one. Todd knew that. Todd wanted to try to flex his masculinity at times, but as you can see we saw on Housewives many times, it didn't work. Kandi always got what she wanted. Now, remember the time Todd had got a job offer to do a production for like a movie or a show in another state or country, and Kandi said, "No, you ain't going." And some, Kandi was like, well, that's too far, and how long, and this and that. So Kandi wasn't having it. So did Todd go? No. But Kandi could go do whatever she want to do. And what does Todd do? He go along for the ride. When Escape and Tamar and Monica came to my town, we went to the show and I saw Todd out in the lobby taking pictures and signing memorabilia. I said, what the hell is this? I said, Kandi got Todd out here like the damn help. I said, ain't this some shit? That's what I said to myself, right? Because I couldn't believe it. Him and Don Juan in the lobby taking pictures and selling merch. I said, Kandi got everybody working. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Y'all had to see it because I couldn't believe it. But anyway, Todd was never the head of the household. And Todd was okay with it because, again, Todd was amongst the who's who of Atlanta, going to the parties and the money and this and that. So he was enjoying the ride. And I also think in Todd's mind, he thought that Kandi had the connections to maybe help him get other jobs in production. And I don't think that Todd was doing production that long when he was, working when he met Kandi. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't working for a few years. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you work any profession that is a craft, like for example, me, nursing. When I first started off in nursing, I was scared. I was, timid. I was, trying to make sure I did everything right, trying to do things the correct way, make double and triple checking myself because I'm scared I might give a patient the wrong dose or something like that. But after being in the game over 20 years now, listen, I can do this stuff with my eyes closed now. I don't have to run and check my little books no more and check my little notes, and I don't have to do that no more. I know what's going on. So I think it's the same thing with Todd, and I think that Todd went into production because that's what he likes to do. And being with Kandi, he never got to do what he wanted to do. And opening up OLG and Blaze, I think that was more so for Todd than for Kandi, because Todd needed to find his masculinity. Because let me tell you something about men. I don't care what kind of man he is. I don't care if he's a bum. I don't care if he's a high earner. Men have to always feel like men on some level to the people that they're dealing with. When I say dealing, the reason why I say people they're dealing with, because I'm not just talking about, man and woman. I'm talking about man, man. Men always have to feel that way. And they said, now word on the street is, now this is a legend because I don't know. Now I'm hearing the rumblers on the streets that Todd was out there dating women in Atlanta like in the open. So that's what I heard. So Kandi probably said, listen, she's not going to, it's probably, what I think is that probably somebody was saying something, or maybe there were some blogs that were going to threaten to like really blow up the spot, or maybe somebody was trying to press them for cash. I think it's various reasons why Kandi went for this divorce. I don't think it was one specific one. I think it was a thing where between Todd openly being out with people, I think the failing businesses, I think Todd was unhappy. Momma Joyce is doing the electric slide right now, as we know, and probably throwing a party. And I think it's various reasons for it because you know Kandi, she did emasculate Todd a few times on television. I mean, she did, and we can't deny that. And I think that it was just going to implode anyway. But see, again, Todd knew what he was getting into. Because a man has to always stand as a man. Women are going to always be women, but a man has to stand as a man. And he knew going into that relationship how Kandi was, what was going on. But I believe what that woman said. I believe that when that woman said that Todd likes to deal with women that have more money than him, I believe that. I believe it because he wouldn't be with Kandi if that was the case. Todd was so proud of that townhouse that he bought over there in Jersey when they went back to New York that time on the Housewives of Atlanta. And Kandi made that man feel like he was 3 feet tall. The way she looked at that place and was rolling her eyes and, yeah, well, I ain't staying here. No, and Todd was so proud of that because where Todd bought that condo at, that part of Jersey, the real estate is kind of expensive in that part of Jersey where Todd bought that condo at. So Todd felt like, hey, look, I really did a good thing here, but to Kandi it meant nothing because Candy's net worth was worth more than his. So, Todd could not feel like a man with Kandi. She just couldn't. Todd home taking care of the kids. Todd is looking like the hired help. And it's just that simple. But again, Todd knew he was getting into. Because again, we it's happening again with Papoose. It's just Papoose to me is going to get tired of it after a while because Clarissa do too much. See, Remy Ma didn't do a whole lot. When I say do a lot, Remy Ma wasn't as vocal as Clarissa is. If y'all remember, Papoose did a lot of talking when they went out and did interviews. Remy Ma would say stuff when they talked about her music or something like that. But when they talked about the relationship, Papoose was always the one doing the talking. Well, now Clarissa doing all the talking. She the one flashing all over everything. So that ain't gonna end well either. That's gonna be a video for another day because that's gonna be a crash and burn too. And while we talk about crashing and burning, I'll probably talk about Summer Walker on my other channel because that child, Lord Jesus. I'm probably gonna talk about Megan and Milagro on my other channel. And just to let y'all know, because I'm gonna go over there and do a couple videos too. But this thing with Kandi and Todd, I expected it to come. There's no surprise. And women like Kandi who are, really strong business women and have a lot going on, men cannot handle that unless they're bigger than them. You know, if you're a woman that's of a certain position, and if your husband is not matching your energy or higher, believe me, he's cheating. He's cheating somewhere, some kind of way, because he has to feel like a man to a woman. He has to. That's how men are wired. Women don't. Women swear that men think like them and act like them, and they don't. Men are wired totally different. For those of you who haven't listened to my Psychology of Men series, you need to go back and listen to that, because men are wired so different. And I've learned this. You know, I had to learn. I didn't know this myself until I became a nurse and started working in the psych field. And I actually started like interviewing men, listening to men, and also going to different, forums and different studies and looking at different case studies and stuff like that. Men are wired different. A man has to feel like a man. That's why men always get, like, when you have men with women that have money. Let's look at Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter, for example. Uh, Kevin went to get the younger girl with nothing. And what did he do? Put her in a home, fund all her businesses, buy her a car, and he took Wendy's money to do it. And you know why he did it? Because he couldn't do it for Wendy. Men have to be looked up to. That's how men are. Men have egos that have to be fed. And when you don't feed a man's ego, he's going to find a woman that's going to feed that ego. And if you notice, when these men cheat, they always go to a woman that is less than. That's always the case. And when I say less than, I don't mean that they're, irrelevant. What I'm saying is they go to women that need. Men need women to need them. When they don't feel needed, they don't feel important. That messes with their masculinity and their egos. So they go, they'll gravitate to women that, need their bills paid, Captain Save a Hoe. Need their bills paid, or their kids need shoes, or oh, this woman needs help. Let me tell you something. Every time I hear these raggedy men talk about some, oh, don't date single mothers and this, let me tell you something. In between my first and second husband, when I was single, I had more men that offered to do for me than anything else. And that's the truth. I was dating a guy one time that bought me two cars. He bought me because when me and my first ex-husband first broke up, I didn't have a car. This is before I became a nurse. I was a CNA at the time. And my kids were babies. They were like little toddlers, like 1 and 2 years old, 1 and 3. And I met this guy, and he saw me walking. I had a double stroller. So we talked, we met, whatever. He bought me a car like a month later from the auction. And then somebody stole my car one day. And then he turned around and bought me another one the very next day from the auction and drove it to my house, him and his friend. And I had another man that was buying me groceries, paying my bills. He was an attorney. He was buying my groceries, paying my bills, um, taking me to like the top restaurants in the city, buying me beautiful clothes. This is what men like to do. And I'm a single mom. They love that. They love that. It's men out here that love that. So all the stuff that they talking on the internet, they just trying to brainwash y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. Cause like I said, I did better as a single mom than I did when I was married. I had more as a single mom than I did when I was married. I had more money. I went places. I did more because I had more to do it. So, for them to sit up there and say, oh, single moms, no, no. Men love that. They love that. So for them to sit up there and say, oh, the man, that's not true. That's only broke men that want to use you and mistreat you. The men out here, no. That's what they want to do. So I'm telling you now, I'm a living example of that. And I've seen it done plenty of times. I've seen it done plenty of times. So again, that's not the case. But back to Kandi and Todd. I saw this coming. I don't know who didn't see it coming. I don't know why anybody thought this was couple goals, because Todd never really had anything to call his own. Todd was always in the shadows of Kandi, and a man cannot do that. So I knew that that was going to happen eventually. And also, women. See, I'm going to tell you this too. Women like Kandi, they're fine and happy when they're the CEO and the breadwinner and everything is going fine. But as soon as that woman gets sick, or something happens where the money's not flowing like that, and he can't pick up the slack, that's when she starts losing even more respect for him. Because all this being a boss chick is fine until things start falling down around you. And see, it's different when you don't have a man versus when you do. See, when you don't have a man and you're a CEO and all this, you put all these things in place for yourself so that this doesn't happen. Like, if an emergency occurs, you have this fund, you have that fund, so you put all these things in place for you. But when you have a husband, sometimes those little things slip through the cracks because you depend on your husband to be there. You lean on him for all the little things while you handle the big things. Well, when you get sick or a traumatic life event happens, and now you're looking at this man like, okay, well, we have a $5,000 electric bill, and he looking at you like, well, babe, I don't have it. I mean, if you're not working, or if things are not coming in right, what am I supposed to do? And see, that's another problem. That's another problem. So that's why I said I expected this to happen. That's not nothing new for me. I don't know what's going to happen with Kandi from here. I don't know what's going to. Well, Todd will find a woman. I'm sure Kandi, with the prenup they had, Todd will walk around with some sort of settlement. They've been married over 10 years. I'm wondering if their prenup had a 10-year clause in it, because there are some marriages that do have a 10-year clause. Because I know Janet Jackson had it, and Janet Jackson left, 10 years and 5 days to the date of that prenup so she can get her money. So I don't know if that was in the prenup or not, but all these things will be coming out later. But I'm gonna get ready to get off of here. Link for a therapeutic call is down below. Link for my channel, Metal Break, is below. Beginner's Guide to Crypto. I am going to get out more information for you guys. That's why I said, now that I'm part-time, we're going to start rolling along better. Also, I have a link I created, my grandmother actually gave me this information. I created a PDF, it's only $2, on a 7-day meal plan with your Thanksgiving dinner. What to make to get the most out your turkey. Because I'm going to tell you something. This deal with the EBT is only lasting until January, y'all. So we don't know what's going to happen in January. So y'all need to start learning how to stretch meals, how to start stockpiling. And I got some good stuff coming on about that. I'm putting some stuff together now to help people with budgeting, saving, finding things cheap, and all that kind of stuff. I'm putting it together now because I started doing research on it. All these things are only going to be $1, like $1 or $2. It's not expensive. I'm not out here trying to get rich. I'm just trying to help people wherever I can to have things at their fingertips when they need it, when this stuff arises. All right, gang, let me get off of here. I'm about to start doing this video. I think I'm gonna start doing this video on Summer Walker, and I'm gonna put it on my Metal Break channel because I'm not breaking down Summer Walker. We already know that. We already know that girl a mess. We already know that. It ain't too much to break down. That's why I'm gonna put it on a Metal Break, because I rather Summer Walker is comedy to me. I ain't even gonna lie. This girl is comedy to me at this point. So I'm gonna go over the Metal Break and do that. So if y'all want to hear about Summer Walker, subscribe to the Metal Break and you'll see it pop up. Because I'm gonna do her over there. I'm gonna do Krishan over there because I haven't done anything on Krishan since Blueface got. No, I did. I did one video, but oh, child, I'm so sick of that girl. I don't know what to do. And I have a lot more videos coming down the pike. I got a lot more stuff because I've been, MIA for the past couple weeks. And I've been saving stuff and just writing little notes about things I want to go over with you guys. I'm going to be doing the psychology of Megan Thee Stallion. Look out for that. The psychology of the City Girls. Look out for that. I got some good ones coming down the pike that we're going to break down. So stay tuned. I am going to be expanding this channel. I'm going to start the Discord. We're going to be getting the stuff moving. So just hang tight, guys. We're going to get it done, and I'll be back soon.